watching the mystical green beanie.
Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? I am the mystical green beanie. Sorry, I know it's been a while, but between school, work, and, well, life, things kind of got away from me. Anyways, I just finished watching Daredevil Season 3. I hope there's a Season 4, given how Netflix is treating the Marvel Netflix shows right now. But yeah, Season 3 is amazing. I love the Daredevil Kingpin relationship that show has. But coming off the heels of Spider-Man PS4, and given some recent events in comics and just general pop culture, I wanted to talk about not Daredevil and Kingpin, but Kingpin and Spider-Man. So, Spider-Man and Kingpin. Spider-Pen? I mean, I'm sure there's one of those in the Spider-Verse somewhere. I'll talk about the Spider-Verse in another video. But yeah, anyways, I've had this thought, but I've never really known how to go about expressing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start talking and see where I end up, okay? Okay. So growing up, I was always of the belief that the Kingpin was a Daredevil villain, because though he was arguably one of the main antagonists of the 90s animated cartoon, and was also one of the major villains of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics line up until his death. Spoilers, I guess, for something that happened 7 years ago in a book that's completed its run. But even in those two things, he was always presented as a main antagonist for Spider-Man, who had a somewhat more personal side vendetta with Daredevil, almost positioning him as more of a Daredevil villain, and Spider-Man was just one of the many heroes who was just another minor inconvenience to his business. Because even in the comics that I grew up reading, Kingpin was almost always played as a Daredevil villain. But when it came to Spider-Man, he always felt like he was just another guy who Spider-Man would run into and antagonize, just like any other mob boss, like the Big Man, or Hammerhead, or Silvermane, or whoever. And it really didn't help that the Daredevil movie really informed my idea of who Daredevil was as a kid, and in that movie, the Kingpin is positioned as one of Daredevil's arch nemesis. Whatever. But it wasn't until I went back and started reading a bunch of more classic Spider-Man back issues and really getting into the history of the character that I realized, no, wait, Kingpin's a Spider-Man villain. And from then on, I feel like Kingpin is wrongly positioned as a Daredevil villain when he should be played as more of a Spider-Man villain. And even then, I feel like using the term wrongly is a little too harsh, but I don't know. Let's unpack it. So, between Spider-Man PS4, the upcoming Into the Spider-Verse animated movie, and the current run on the Amazing Spider-Man comic by Nick Spencer, Ryan Stegman, and Humberto Ramos, it feels like everyone woke up one morning and remembered, oh yeah, Kingpin is a Spider-Man villain. Because for the past 25 to 30 years, Kingpin, from what I've seen and grew up on, has primarily been associated with Daredevil and other more street-level heroes like that, but mostly Daredevil. And I feel like that goes all the way back to what Frank Miller was doing with Daredevil in Born Again, and later on Man Without Fear, and how those two stories in particular have shaped the Kingpin as a character in pop culture. And I say that not because I'm opposed to those stories. In fact, they're among my favorite comic book stories ever written and drawn. But it's more so the cultural impact that those stories have had that almost make me resent them to a certain degree. Because as much as I love Daredevil Born Again, I feel like that's a story that should have been told with Spider-Man. Because just looking at the history of the character and whatnot, I feel like Wilson Fisk would be less obsessive and psycho banana pants over Daredevil than he would Spider-Man. Because ever since his debut, Spider-Man has been a thorn in his side. In fact, much less a thorn and more like a rusted pipe that's covered in dead cockroaches and bedbug larvae. By all accounts, the way Kingpin behaves towards Matt Murdock from Born Again onward should be the way he behaves towards Spider-Man. And that's something that really clicked with me while playing Spider-Man PS4. I mean, I felt like this way for quite a while, but the game really hit me and made me think to myself, yeah, Kingpin should hate Spider-Man with a burning passion. And it's just strange to me that their relationship isn't played up like that. You know, it's weird to me that we don't have more stories like Back in Black or Family Business or what we get in the Ultimate Universe with that character. Because in my opinion, the relationship that Matt has with the Kingpin is the relationship that Peter should have with the Kingpin. But that's just me, and I'm probably coming to this conclusion through my bias of being more of a Spider-Man fan than I am a Daredevil fan. But I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. Anyways, speaking of which, that's all I had to say regarding Kingpin and Spider-Man and stuff. Plus, I just wanted to have an excuse to replay the opening of Spider-Man PS4, but my point still stands. But yeah, what about you? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Could you even understand what I was trying to say? Let me know down below in the comment section. Also, if you like this video, hit the like button, share, support the channel, and if you want to see more content like this, all you have to do is subscribe. I'm the Mystical Green Beanie. Thanks for watching, and as always, until next time, adios, nachos, adios.